morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories this hour. Amid Dr. Govinda Kese's 16th round of hunger strike, the ruling Nepal Communist Party in course to endorse the medical education bill from the House session today. Judicial Council summons 8 judges after preliminary investigations reveal their verdicts were biased and influenced. Council says a more probe to follow. Trump administration tries to cut Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's revenue streams in response to Maduro's decision to cut diplomatic ties with the US. And Nepal gear up for the first match of the one-day series against UAE today. A chance for new faces in Team Nepal to prove their mettle. We'll start with the latest national political updates. The ruling Nepal Communist Party is in course to endorse the medical education bill from the parliamentary session scheduled for today. As per the schedule, the session is to start at 1 p.m. The government move has come despite Dr. Govinda Kese not giving up his hunger strike, demanding amendments in the provision of the bill. Dr. Govinda Kese has stated that the ruling party has breached the agreement struck between him and the then government while ending his 15th round of hunger strike. Meanwhile, lawmakers of the ruling party have claimed of having sent the bill at the parliament after addressing all of Dr. Kese's demands. The Health and Education Committee had approved the bill on 7th of January and forwarded it to the House of Representatives for endorsement amid wide criticism. The ruling party failed to endorse the bill this week as the opposition had obstructed the sessions of the House of Representatives, however, has expressed confidence on making it happen through the meeting slated for today. Education Minister Giriraj Mani Pokhrel has termed the obstruction of the House session by the opposition as a step against the sovereignty of the parliamentary system. Likewise, government spokesperson Gokul Baskota has clarified that the endorsement would not be affected in any pretext as the government has the majority votes. Based on the 9-point agreement struck between Dr. Kese and the then government on July 26, 2018, universities were prohibited from giving out affiliations to more than 5 medical colleges. However, Dr. Kese has stated the ruling party crossed the provision and allowed universities to give affiliations to medical colleges out of Kathmandu Valley. Analysts have opined Dr. Kese's protest has been overshadowed as the ruling and the opposition parties have taken the bill as their own ego battle. And moving on, 8 judges have been recalled by the Judicial Council after a preliminary investigation suggested the judges had given biased verdicts. The council has stated additional investigations would be carried out to reach a decision regarding the actions to be taken against them. Actions against judges who have given verdicts under pressure, influence and selfish motives have been rare in history of Nepalese judiciary. The then Special Court Justice Bhupdas Adhikari and Komalnath Sharma were proven guilty. Likewise, in the past, Supreme Court's Krishna Kumar Verma, Baliram Kumar, Parmananda Jha, the then Appellate Courts Haribadur Basnet, Muktinath Sarma Nepal and Raghunath Aryal had been found of breaching the Judiciary Code of Conduct as well. However, they escaped actions by simply resigning from their posts. Likewise, despite being found guilty, actions were not taken against other judges of the likes of Rameshwar Man Singh Adhikari, Dhruvalal Raj, Gopal Guragai, Ganesh Panjiar, Kedar Pyakurel, Tej Bahadur Karki and Om Prasad Subedi among others. Former Chief Justice Gopal Parajuli was found of tampering with his certificates and his aides to extend his tenure, while Chief Justice nominee Deepak Raj Joshi was rejected by the Parliamentary Hearing Committee for failing to prove his judicial ethics and education qualification. There have been complaints filed against the decisions made by the then Chief Justices Damodar Sharma and Om Prakash Mishra as well. However, actions were rarely taken in all these cases. The Judicial Council has the authority to monitor and take actions against judges of all courts except the Supreme Court. The Parliament has the right to impeach the Supreme Court Chief Justice. However, Judicial Council can still submit clarifications on behalf of the Chief Justice. Now, the deadline of the commissions formed to investigate on the criminal cases and violation of human rights during the Maoist insurgency period ends on 9th of February this year. However, despite the lapse of 4 years, these commissions have neither been able to take actions against the perpetrators nor deliver justice to the victims. This has raised questions on the intention of the responsible commissions and added to the complications in justice delivery. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission and Commission for Investigation of Enforced Disappeared Persons were formed to investigate on the cases of violation of human rights during the decade-long Maoist insurgency. These commissions were formed 4 years ago with time period of 2 years. However, their deadline were extended by 2 years as they failed to produce any result. The only work accomplished so far in the past 4 years is taking in complaints of the victims. 63,000 cases filed at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and 3,000 filed at the Commission for Investigation of Enforced Disappeared Persons have been left unattended. When the Comprehensive Peace Accord was signed 12 years ago, the government had announced forming the commissions within 6 months, which only materialized 8 years later. The government also failed to form adequate laws and provide required infrastructures and human resources for the commissions to fully function. At this juncture, the future of the commissions and justice to the victims are both in a limbo. Likewise, the nature of laws that the government has put forth during informal discussions has only made law campaigners and victims more skeptic. Majority of the stakeholders have questioned if the government is attempting to protect the perpetrators, as the provisions proposed allows criminals to escape prison terms and give facilities like open prison, among others. The delay in delivering justice has drawn the attention of international community as well. The United Nations and governments of 8 other Western countries issued concerns yesterday over the progress made so far. The government has decided to serve a mandatory retirement to employees of Gorkhali rubber industry. Around 1 billion rupees is expected to be spent in providing the facilities and retirement for the employees of the industry. A total of 227 staff are employed at the industry owned by the government. Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies had forwarded the proposal of mandatory retirement of the employees a month ago. The government has decided to manage an alternative arrangement of the factory. Likewise, the government has set a ceiling for land acquisition on the diplomatic missions in Nepal. Based on the government decision, different countries are allowed to have 12 ropanis of land for the embassies, 4 ropanis for the residence of ambassadors, 8 ropanis for the facility for consulates, and 3 ropanis of land for the residence of consulate generals. Likewise, the government has also decided to ban the import of any substance that could lead to the infection of African swine fever. All district-level government offices have been merged with the local-level offices as per the new federal structure. With the merger, the public had expected for a better service delivery. However, majority of the general public have mostly expressed dissatisfaction over the local level's work. In this context, we asked the service seekers at Surkhet how have they found the service delivery at local levels. In our Public Voice segment, let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
स्थानीय निकायले गरेको जुन छ त्यो एउटा अभ्यासको प्रक्रियामा छ। अब यसलाई चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै चाहिँ ठीक छैन भन्न पनि मिल्ने अवस्था छैन र चाहिँ ठीक छ भनिहाल्ने अवस्था पनि छैन।
1 रुपैयाँ जग्गाले पहाडमा आम्दानी कम गर्छ, त्यसको तिरो हामीले कति तिर्नुपर्छ हैन, कति तिरेका छौं। एकदम चाहिँ तिरो महँगै छ, फाइदा बन्ने हो के फाइदा बन्ने हो।
स्थानीय सरकार गठन भइसकेपछि अहिले जनताले पहिलेको भन्दा केही राहत महसुस गरेका छन्।
कतिपय ऐन कानुनहरु बनेकै अवस्था छैन र उले कसरी गर्ने र सेवाग्राहीले चाहिँ ए सिंहदरबार त यही आयो अब सबै चीज हामीले पाउँछौं भन्ने आशा राखेर यहाँ आउँछ, तर उ विमुख भएर जानुपर्ने अवस्था चाहिँ देखिएको।
पहिलाको भन्दा अब हरेक कम्प्युटर सिस्टम आइराछ, त्यसमा परिवर्तन देखियो।
अहिले चाहिँ पाउने सेवा सुविधाहरु तुरुन्तै पाइराखेको छ।
केही सेवा सुविधा भएर हाकिम साहबले कोठा कोठा फाँटमा गरेर अहिले कामहरु छिटै प्रक्रिया भइराछ।
ऐन कानुनहरु चाहिँ समयमा बनेनन्, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि पनि अलि असजिलो जस्तो भएको छ।
And time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Your question is, why has justice delivery in the insurgency-era cases turned complicated by the day? Your options are A, leaders protecting themselves, B, influence from external parties, and C, ignoring the victims' emotions. The voting for that question is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With that, it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
Nepal is taking on United Arab Emirates today in the first of 3 one-day international matches of the series. The Nepalese team that has 4 new players this time has shown full spirit to win the match against UAE today. The match is to be held at the IC Cricket Ground and is slated for 11:15 a.m. kickoff today. Youth spinner Lalit Rajbansi is most likely to make his debut in the one-day international today. Meanwhile, the team is without Sharad Veswalker this time around, and it is still uncertain if veteran skipper Basanta Regmi will join the team against UAE due to health reasons. Regmi skipped the practice session yesterday due to fever. Lalit will replace Basanta if the team decides to rest him. Team captain Paras Khadka has stated this match is an opportunity for the new players to prove their mettle. This is going to be Nepal's second international tour after bagging the one-day status. Team Nepal, that has failed to last the full 50 overs in the last 3 ODIs, faces the biggest challenge of improving their batting display. To make things worse, Nepalese batsmen in recent time have been more involved in T20 matches. Nepal can take advantage of the fact that UAE skipper Rohan Mustafa and 2 other players are serving an 8-week suspension. In the 15 matches played against UAE, Nepal has only won 3 occasions, while UAE has clinched 11 of these encounters. UAE had defeated Nepal by 74 runs the last time they played against each other in the Asia Cup qualifiers. And moving on, Chelsea has advanced to the finals of the League Cup, defeating Tottenham 4-2 in a penalty shootout. The match had to be decided through a penalty shootout after the aggregate score was tied at 2-2. Chelsea, who had fallen behind 1-0 in the first leg, made a comeback in the second leg semi-final, played at Chelsea's home ground Stamford Bridge last night after a 2-1 finish and an aggregate 2-2 score. In last night's match, N'Golo Kante scored in the 27th minute to give Chelsea the lead. Eden Hazard doubled Chelsea's lead in the 38th minute to make it 2-0. Fernando Llorente scored for Tottenham in the 50th minute to cut the deficit to 2-1. Both teams failed to add any more goals, and the match tied at an aggregate score of 2-2. The winner had to be decided through penalty kicks, and David Luiz scored the winning spot kick to send Chelsea to the finals of the League Cup. Eric Dyer and Luka Moura failed to convert their penalty kicks, and Tottenham crashed out of the League Cup. This will be Chelsea's 8th trip to the finals of the League Cup. Chelsea will now face Pep Guardiola's Manchester City in the finals of the League Cup on 24th of February at Wembley Stadium. Now, Real Madrid has defeated Girona 4-2 in the first leg of the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. In the match played at Real Madrid's home ground, Santiago Bernabeu, this morning, Alexander Lozano gave Girona an early lead by scoring in the 7th minute of the match. It didn't take long for Real Madrid to level the match as Lucas Vazquez came up with an equalizer in the 18th minute. Real took a 2-1 lead just before halftime after Sergio Ramos converted a penalty kick in the 42nd minute. In the second half, Girona leveled the match at 2-2 as Alex Granell scored through a penalty kick in the 66th minute. Sergio Ramos scored his personal second of the match in the 77th minute to give Real a 3-2 lead. Karim Benzema scored in the 80th minute to seal Real Madrid's 4-2 win over Girona. Meanwhile, in another first-leg quarter-final match of the Copa del Rey, Espanyol and Real Betis settled for a 1-1 draw. And moving on to more sports news, the search for missing footballer Emiliano Sala and pilot David Ibbotson has been called off after rescuers failed to find their plane. After 3 days of scouring the English Channel, authorities made the decision to abandon the search. However, Sala's sister, Romina, pleaded with rescuers to keep looking for him. Cardiff City's Argentine striker Sala and Ibbotson were on the aircraft that disappeared from radar on Monday. Despite Romina's plead, rescuers have stated it is pointless to continue the search operation. 28-year-old Sala had only joined Cardiff City from League One club Nantes on Saturday. Salah was Cardiff's record signing for a fee of £15 million. In a statement released after the rescue operations were called off, Cardiff City owner Vincent Tan said the club was looking forward to the striker's next step in life and career. Salah was on the way to Wales to participate in the team practice session. The plane had lost contact at 2,300 feet near the Cascades lighthouse, infamous among mariners at the site of many shipwrecks. Salah had reportedly sent a WhatsApp voice message before the flight where he had joked of being scared and that the plane seemed like it was breaking apart. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Amid Dr. Govinda Kesari's 16th round of hunger strike, the ruling Nepal Communist Party in course to endorse a medical education bill from the House session today. Judicial Council summons 8 judges after preliminary investigations revealed their verdicts were biased and influenced. Council says more probe to follow. Trump administration tries to cut Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's revenue streams in response to Maduro's decision to cut diplomatic ties with the US. And Nepal gear up for the first match of the one-day series against UAE today. A chance for new faces in Team Nepal to prove their mettle. And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 this morning. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.